Greetings, Guzzlers. In the middle of the World Cup in a minute, so got my football shirt on tonight. We're baking tonight. Well, not baking. We're baking some fish actually. No, we're cooking a main course, and so I've got my football shirt on, and see if you can work out what team it supports. Might not be the one you think it is. So, after having had a meal out the other night, the wife suddenly decided she had a really nice cod main course served up with crushed potatoes and cauliflower cheese. Now, she's always said, "Don't like cauliflower cheese, don't like cauliflower." She never got a choice because it was cauliflower cheese and peas, and that was the only veg. And she had a cauliflower cheese, and she said, "Oh, I like cauliflower cheese. Don't like cauliflower, but I like cauliflower cheese." So we'll have to have that again. So we're going to partly replicate that meal. Make sure I don't knock my beer in there on that. In so much as we're going to do a baked cod with a nice coating. The coating is going to be different. But we will be serving it with crushed potatoes and cauliflower cheese. So there's three sort of things to make from that. I've got my oven on at the moment at 200-ish, 210-ish, and that's when we're going to bake our cod, and that'll take about half hour or so. Okay, but before that we're going to prepare our topping. So you notice I've got my little mini blender here. I've got some panko breadcrumbs. I don't know, what's that? About a cup or so. Do it by eye. I've got some butter, and I've got some salt, nice sea salt, and I've got about a cup or so of wasabi peas. So we're going to have a panko and wasabi pea crust. So, and then I've got the other ingredients here. I've got my potatoes ready to put on, I've got my cauliflower, I've got some cheese grated, I've got some plain flour there, some more butter, and I'll need some milk, but that's still in the fridge at the minute. And then we're going to need some cod fillets. Now, ideally, you want nice, chunky cod fillets without skin on. She's been and bought skin on. I told her not to. And when I said to her tonight, "Did they not have any skinless fillets?" And she went, no, i.e. she'd been and bought the wrong bloody ones. But never mind. We can cope with that. Now, these are like dried wasabi peas. They have a nice kick to them. Very crunchy, but obviously that's not going to quite work like that. Oh, let's have the beer now. So what we're going to do is we're going to put them into there. I might even put some more in there. It depends really how much you like wasabi, how much of a kick you want. And so what we're going to now do is just blitz this into like breadcrumbs. I'll take my bowl of panko breadcrumbs. We're just going to put those breadcrumbs into there. And I'm going to sort of mix all that together. And so, like I say, that gives it a little bit of a wasabi kick. If you want more, then give it some more peas. And then I'm just going to give it a couple of generous pinches of sea salt. This is quite chunky salt, so that's why I sort of do 2 pinches. I'm just going to mix that together. And then final thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to take some butter, and we're just going to mix that into that. But really this is just to give it a little bit of a sort of stickiness to it, to help attach it to the fish. Now if we were going to fry it, we'd probably flour the cod and then dip it into some egg yolk, you know, beaten egg, and then finally dip it into this. But what we're going to do is we're just going to press this mixture onto it. So I might actually get my fingers in there and give it a good mix together. And then that's our coating done. Okay. So like I say, it's going to take about 30-35 minutes to cook the fish. So we'll be sort of preparing the potatoes and the cauliflower in that time. I added a little bit more butter just because there's quite a lot of dry ingredients there. And all I'm going to do now is just lightly wipe some oil over my baking sheet that I'm going to put the cogs on, because obviously we don't we don't really want it sticking to that. If we were pan frying it, we would be turning it, but this we just go into the oven straight onto there and we just cook it in the oven, bake it. I dried off the bottom, the skin side, laid it on here on my lined baking tray, and I'm just drying that off. Okay, and our next step then is to take our panko bread mixture. I've probably got more than I need here, actually, to be honest. And what we're going to do is just coat it. It's probably easiest to do this by hand. Just press it down on top of each fish fillet. Like I say, ideally you want chunkier ones of that. It is quite difficult, to be fair to the wife, even though she put lots of skins on. And I've left the skins on because these are quite thin and I don't want it falling apart. But no, I must admit, Tesco's don't really seem to sell the sort of chunky fillets. This is about as chunky as it gets. So I'm just going to coat them so they've got a nice coating. So that's my fish coated. Not quite ready yet to put in the oven. But what I'm going to do in the meantime, it's got two pans at the back here. You can't see them. If I put in the front here, it blocks everything I'm doing. But what we're going to do is get them up to boil, and we're going to cook our potatoes and cauliflower. So I'm just going to add a couple of generous pinches of salt to that. And then, like I say, I've got some cauliflower I've already chopped out into small florets, and I've got some nice sort of babyish new potatoes. He said dripping water everywhere. And what we'll do is boil them. Now I left the skins on. Apparently they had skins on. I said, did they have the skins on or not? Oh no, they had skins on. It was quite nice really. I don't really like potatoes. Got to think of me thicker. But they were really nice. So the intention is we're going to crush them, so we're not mashing them as such. We're going to crush them, and they're going to form the base for our cod to sit on top of, and then it'll, like I say, it'll be served with a side dish of cauliflower cheese. Right, my pan's come up to boil, so the first thing I'm going to do is I just want to get my potatoes on the boil. They're probably going to take slightly longer than the cauliflower. So, like I say, we're not mashing them, but we want them soft enough that we can crush them up a bit. So we're just going to boil them for however long it takes to boil them. How long is a piece of string? Right? Oh, you might notice my beer's got darker. You know, I better just turn that down a bit. It's getting a bit fierce, that one. That's going to give cauliflower. Not going to put the cauliflower on just yet. As hobgoblin. So, like I say, we're now going to put the fish in, and we're going to bake that for about 200, 210. And we're going to bake that for about 30 minutes or so. I think the battery's going in that. Oh yeah, my numbers are going a bit funny. Magnetic. So all I've got left now then is I've got my cauliflower to put on. I've got, like I say, some grated cheese. I've got some butter, and you're going to need some plain flour. We're going to make like a cheese sauce. So we're going to make like a bit of a roux with some butter, flour and milk. And I'll show you how to do that properly in a bit, so you don't get lumpy sauce. And then we were sort of stirring the cheese while it's hot, so that we can then chuck our cauliflower in it. So, like I say, I'm going to let them boil for a bit, then I'll put them on, cauliflower on. My potatoes are still cooking, want them a bit softer yet, but my cauliflower, depending on how well you want it cooked, I want mine with a bit of crunch to it. So we're going to strain this off now, just put that into the bowl or whatever for now, and then we're going to make our cheese sauce. So I'll put the pan up on the front here, and I'm going to use a wooden spoon, because I don't want any lumps in it. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put that butter into that pan, and we want to melt it down, and then we're just going to gradually, while we're doing that, you can see how warm it is, isn't it? I'll have to have a bloody word with the wife. She's got the heating up too high. Bloody gas prices, can't afford it. It should be bloody cold. What we're going to do is gradually stir in some flour. Might help put some heat on. So I just want it on low. Okay, and I'm going to really, I always do this a bit by eye, really, to be honest. I'm just going to add that amount of flour for now, and we're going to mix that in, cook, and sort of gently warming it. So it's going to form, I don't know what you call it really, but we want to cook it for a little bit. I'll add a little bit more flour. Oh, that's a spoonful. Because we want to get rid of that sort of floury taste, if you like. So I just had a look at my cod. Now, one thing you've got to watch doing the old cod, particularly if you were going to fry it in a pan, you would start with a really high heat and cook it on both sides, you know, to get it nice and crispy, particularly the coating side. But then after that, you would want to, after you've sort of flipped it both sides, if you were coating both sides or all of it, then give it a nice high heat on both sides. But then after that, turn the heat down low and sort of keep it on low, so that you make sure the fish is cooked through, but you don't dry it out. But we're doing that in the oven, so it's slightly different. It's probably going to be a bit dry, but who cares? Okay, so you can see here, you know, I've got quite a thick sort of flour and butter paste. I'm just going to cook that through for a little bit. You obviously don't want to be burning it or anything like that. And then we're going to gradually start turning that into a nice white sauce, adding some milk. It's a little bit, doing it by eye, but we add it gradually, and we gradually stir it in over that heat. Until it's all sort of been sort of soaked up, if you like. And then we just carry on adding a little bit at a time, stirring it in until we've got a nice sort of white sauce, sort of as thick or as thin as you want. Obviously once we put that cheese in it, the heat will melt the cheese into it, but essentially this is where we're going to decide on the main viscosity, if you like, of the sauce. Now you want to add if you chucked all your milk in one go, you're going to end up with a lumpy sauce. You don't want a lumpy sauce, a lumpy roux. You want a nice smooth sauce, hence the reason we add the milk gradually, and we use a wooden spoon to knock the lumps out. And it may well be I need to get some more milk out of the fridge and chuck some more milk in. But this is what I'm going to do. I'm gradually going to do it until I've got it to the consistency that I want it. Obviously I don't want it this thick, Okay, but you might decide to have it very runny, you might decide to have it very thick. When we had it last week, it was very, very runny, not quite how I like it. So we're going to do the way I like it. Quite a runny sauce at the moment, but we continue to cook it, and you need to continue stirring it because you'll find it will get thick on the bottom. And as we cook it through, you get a splash on my shirt. Actually, I said to you when in the middle of the World Cup, today's the day that Brazil got booted out, and at the moment it's Australia. I keep calling every bloody team begins with A, Australia. Argentina, Netherlands, all kicking off in there in a minute. The Netherlands gave away a penalty. Argentinians scored 2-0, and then it all kicked off. And although I haven't been watching it, obviously, I gather the Dutch are being a little bit naughty, but now it's been very naughty, and they're kicking off big time. I'm surprised you didn't send some bugger off, but there you go. Now, as you cook this through, so it might have been quite runny, it will start to thicken. Okay, and so you just need to bear that in mind. Let's see how many potatoes are doing. The potatoes are just about there. Now, bloody hell, I can't speak properly. I was just about to say my chicken is now cooked. My cod is now cooked. I've left them in the oven, but I've turned the oven off. Okay, and like I say, this is now thickening. So at this point, we're going to chuck in the cheese, even though cheese don't want to go in there. And I'm going to turn that heat right down low, and really we're just using the heat that's in there to melt that cheese into the sauce. And there you go, we've now just created, I know it's not all fully melted yet, but what we've created there is a nice cheese sauce. So I'm now going to just turn that heat off, and it's just about all melted through. So at this point we're just going to put, thank you, gone on the bloody floor. I'm trying to make sure I didn't get any water in there. I don't think there's really any water in here, to be honest. And now all we're going to do is just stir that through to coat our cauliflower in cheese. Now you could, if you want, add some black pepper. I'm going to leave that to the discretion of the person eating it, i.e. the wife. Okay, so that's that done. So I've strained off the potatoes. I just put it back in that pan, and all I'm going to do now is I'm just going to, you've got like a potato masher, which I haven't got, you could use that, but like I say, we're not trying to mash these. What we want to do is just crush them. Excuse me, put on another beer now, getting through some beer tonight. Actually earlier I've got my Tiny Rebel advent calendar, beer calendar. Although Tiny Rebel, I'm too impressed that my order is now almost 3 weeks overdue, and it's no good you keep emailing saying how busy you are, and you hadn't anticipated how busy you were, and we are trying to get your orders out. I would like it before bloody Christmas, please. Anyway, I had almost not quite halfway through my calendar. Very nice. Right, so anyway, we've now crushed that up. So now it's time to start plating up. So I've laid a sort of bed of crushed potato, and now what? Oh, bloody hell, there's meat coming out. And what we're going to do is now remove that from the oven, and probably where we find it sticks to the foil. And now we remove our fish and lay that on top of our mash, like so. And then we'll finally be adding our, bloody hell, I was going to say cottage cheese, cauliflower cheese. Here is our final. There is a lot of potato here. I probably made too much potato. I've also made too much cauliflower cheese, but that's because I like it, so I might have more. So let's try out our cauliflower cheese. So that's my white sauce. Let's have a bit of cauliflower with it. Well, I say cheese sauce. Got that nice crunch to the cauliflower, so it's not too soggy. Let's have a little bit of the potato with the sauce. And now let's just break a bit of cod off with that wasabi panko crust. That's bloody hot. It's very hot because it just come out of the oven. Not quite getting an awful lot of wasabi kick. I think it's starting to come through now. But obviously, if you want more, blend in more wasabi peas. I didn't want to go over the top, although we do like them wasabi peas. We eat them just out they are. It's like a snack. But there you go. Your panko and wasabi crusted cod with crushed new potatoes and cauliflower cheese. I'm now going to enjoy that, and I'm going to polish off the rest of that cauliflower cheese.